What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I want to talk about practical habitat strategies that you can use, everybody can use. And I want to also discuss short-term benefits and then long-term benefits. And real quick, I'm officially starting a podcast. I've been talking about this for 2 years now. It's officially happening. It's going to be on YouTube, a video version, and all your podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be all on iHeartRadio, all those different platforms starting 2023, early January. I'll let you know more information. Now, as we get into the late season of deer hunting here, we're getting into habitat season to where, hunting's kind of winding down, and we can start doing some of these habitat strategies to improve our land for years to come, especially, for 2023 deer season, leading into next fall. So some practical things that we can use and benefit from is obviously food plots. Food plots is probably going to be your, simplest, in most cases, practical thing to do, because most of people's property, whether it's private land, lease land, permission land, whatever it is, most times the landowner will let you plant a food plot, right? So that's going to be a quick benefit to you. It's going to be instant gratification, because you're going to plant something, it's going to grow, you're going to feed deer, you're going to attract deer, and you're going to be able to make it a little bit easier to pattern deer, because once that food source is established, deer kind of redirect what they do on that property because they relate to that food. So that's the cool thing about it, is so many people are focused on bedding areas on their property, and bedding areas obviously very important on the bigger the property gets. The smaller the property gets, I would not focus on bedding, I would focus on having food, because no matter what, we create bedding, deer are going to find a place to bed, whether it's there or not. Yes, it may be on that neighbor's land, right? And they may be traveling from your neighbor's land to your food source. Who cares, right? The smaller the property, the more important food becomes. The larger the property, the more important bedding becomes, and food sources, right? You have that combination of things. So food plots, I have so many videos on establishing food plots. They're very beneficial to your property, not only attracting deer, managing the deer herd, attracting deer, helping to feed, give them nutrition and such, right? So that's going to be instant gratification. Another thing too is, areas that we can thicken up, such as switchgrass areas, things like that. That is going to be a long-term benefit, because there's a lot of prep work that goes into getting switchgrass properly established. You have to prep the area, prep the ground, you have to maintain that area. But switchgrass can add, structure to that lower part and cover. It's going to add a transition area to, say, big timber to a switchgrass area to a food plot, big timber area to structure to a switchgrass area to another big part of a timber area, pinch points, whatever. It's going to help, in that sense, but that's a long-term benefit, right? And not many people lease land, right, for many years. A lot of people may lease it for 1 year, and next year they lease another piece of property, and they just don't want to mess with switchgrass, because really years 2 and 3 is when it really gets grown up and becomes beneficial to you. Another quick benefit to you guys is cuttings. Cuttings are super rewarding, because it adds a lot of quick structure to the ground. It opens up the sunlight it opens up the canopy to allow more sunlight in, to allow more regrowth. Woody browse, forbs, green, all your green natural browse is going to come up, flourish, and it's going to provide a lot of deer food and also cover. Cuttings are pretty easy to do. Obviously, you want to be careful with it, but if you can do cuttings on your property, it adds amazing cover to the ground. You can create some bedding areas and such. But even if you're going from, say, an open timber area to a cutting, that goes back to an open timber area, maybe leads out to a field, such as a food plot or an ag field or something like that. But having certain cuttings throughout your property is very rewarding. It can add that cover for not only deer, but also other wildlife. And it's pretty simple to do. So consider that, right? Consider food plots, switchgrass areas and cuttings. Creating another thing too is travel corridors. We created a travel corridor on this last property where I killed the buck we called 210. And it was basically pretty simple. It was an area where we had food plots at the top, and then it rolled down into a ridge, and those deer were traveling that ridge for the most part, that we saw when we scouted the area in late winter, early spring. But we enhanced that travel corridor to make them travel that area more often. So that area kind of went this way, long ways, and then it wrapped back around, back to the backside of the property where we did a cutting on top of a ridge, for creating a better area for that. But those deer use that travel corridor pretty often. We have some cameras on there. We enhanced it with a water hole and some mock scrapes and stuff, and we actually hinge cut some trees just to kind of open it up a little bit, and also make it easier for them to use. We went in there, cleaned that trail up. I think we went in 2 to 3 times actually and sprayed that area, sprayed that trail with a herbicide to kill any grasses on there. And when you do that, those deer will travel that more often. It just makes it easier. It kind of entices them to use that more often. So that's what we did, and it may not work out in your benefit right away, but have cameras on there, and at some point, right? At some point in that season, a buck, mature buck, whatever buck that you want to use or to hunt, is going to use that habitat feature. That's the thing. When you create habitat features, you may not see what you want to see right away, but eventually, if you keep pressure to the minimum, a buck that you're looking to hunt is going to eventually use that habitat feature, and it's going to be more than one time, and you can pattern them on that habitat feature, and you can hunt and get a shot opportunity at that deer. So consider this leading into 2023, and if you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below. Willing to help you guys out. Today's been a busy day with emails and stuff for habitat consulting and stuff like that, and I'm booking up for 2023. I can only do so many, so if you guys have any questions about that, you can visit my website, whitetailobsessionoutdoors.com. Check that out. There's a link on there. You can send me an email, free 30-minute phone call. We can discuss to see if my services can help you, especially in the area here. Most of the time I do northeast areas such as Virginia, West Virginia, PA is a big one, Maryland obviously, parts of Ohio, New Jersey, and on occasion I do travel out Midwest, out into Kentucky and places like that. So I already have, I think, 2 or 3 Kentucky trips booked so far this year. It's busy. It's going to be busy. So again, take care. Any questions, leave a comment. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you want more information on food plots, soil samples, and habitat management, click this video right here on the screen. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you guys are new.